Who's gonna protect the foster kids from scammers collecting checks posed as foster parents, pretending to care about fragile lives, desperately desiring to be rescued in respite? Weak systematic levies shatter the lives of impoverished families every day. Parental rights held by the federal government. Now let us concentrate on encamping our village with resources and care.
My family was struggling on how to deal with me because of my sexual preference at the time. And it led to some abuse and neglect. It led to me running away a few times, led to me being rebellious a few times, and ultimately it ended me in care.
I was raped twice by a family friend of my dad's, and then we ended up moving in with these people afterwards, and it happened again. My mother had committed suicide, and my father was a very abusive man growing up. Eventually, my grandmother got custody of us. I had struggled with depression. I was very suicidal to the point where I could no longer safely be in my grandmother's home. She had to give up custody to the county so that I could get the help I needed.
Both my parents were abusing drugs, so I left and I went to live with my grandmother. At the age of 11, my father found out that I was being sexually molested by a family friend. So he took me to the hospital. The children's services got back involved. I went home and they were taking me from my grandmother.
My mother for 12 years was incarcerated. I was put in foster care at 2 with the rest of my 4 siblings.
I just sat in the room that was supposed to be mine. I knew at the time that I wasn't returning home. And that was a feeling of depression.
Eventually, I needed to go into a fully locked facility for a year, moving from a place where I'm able to go out to school, go see friends, go do things, to a fully locked facility. It made me feel trapped.
I started to experiment with substances for sure at 16. When you are displaced from love and family and just feeling from individuals around you in general, you search for it in places where, you know, may not be the best.
My mother got back out of jail. I was staying with her for a little minute, and then I got took back. It was like a weird transition where it was like ping pong almost. Coming home, seeing your garbage bags on the porch, like you can't even go inside and look for anything. You gotta go somewhere. I thought my mother would come home at any second when I was growing up, like the Kool-Aid man just bust through the wall, swoop us all up and take us.
I experienced depression a lot going through foster care. Being in that state, like away from your family, I think it's just hard mentally. I just wished I could go home. I'm sorry.
I've seen lilies bloom in desolate mud. What a painful process it is to break through concrete when life seems like a never-ending series of unfortunate events. "18 don't equate to grown. When you've lived in 3, 7, 11, 15, 23, 30 foster homes."
Went to Cleveland State, ended up dropping out, became homeless. None of my foster parents taught me how to budget. They didn't teach me how to build credit, how to drive, how to grocery shop.
You don't know who your support system is anymore. You may not feel loved by your foster mom, but you can't return to your foster mom for help to ask a question or how to do certain things.
They have been bounced around from home to home and school to school, and it's hard for them to stay focused mentally to actually earn that high school diploma or GED because there's no stability in their lives.
At the University of Akron, my grades were bad all over again. I dropped out.
Another barrier is transportation. They are choosing between, should I put food in the refrigerator or pay this bill versus buying that bus pass, in which the bus pass or transportation will actually help them get out there to seek jobs and appointments or go to interviews.
A lot of places don't want to hire a 19-year-old at 20 hours a week. They're worried that they won't work, they won't do what they have to do, and that hurts me because I want to work.
Well, just the feeling of being like abandoned. When I was in crisis, that sense of belonging that I did have, it disappeared.
Foster kids aren't disposable. Don't just hear me, hear them. Pay attention and listen to their stories. Quit flicking channels to deflect. Don't be numb to this. Foster kids are human.
It gave me a sense of hope. He was like, do you want to be on this panel? I'll give you $200. And I'm like, yeah, of course. But little did I know it was a national quality parenting initiative conference, and I would be speaking in front of 400 plus people. I rocked the house, like got a standing ovation and everything. Before I knew it, it was just like one thing leading to another, leading to another. And I started to develop a passion for advocating for like others. One of our major achievements was helping to extend foster care from 18 to 21 through the Bridges program.
Foster kids are children that belong to the village, and they too are important enough to leave legacies with their gifts.
What I would like to do is get into a trade program, and I would love to do something with my hands, building, carpentry, metalwork, working with cars.
It just was positive energy all around. The love, the compassion, the care. You have to learn to accept what you've been through and use it as a growing tool, not something to keep you down. And that's how I took it, and I used it to grow.
All these people.
Hi, baby. My mental state as a mother, I knew when I was pregnant that I needed to start becoming the best version of me so I could be the best mom to him and not let him see anything that I went through. So that's when I started my healing journey. I found a really good therapist and just started to, become a better me at that time.
I want to see these kids live out their dreams. I pray that these babies get to blow out 21 candles on their 21st birthday over suicide rates increasing because the mountain of depression collapsed on their chest, made it too hard to breathe.
Taking care of your mental health, you gotta talk to somebody. So you gotta have an outlet, and really a positive outlet.
Talk to a therapist, talk to a friend, talk to somebody, because depression is real, anxiety is real, and suicide is real.
So please, please reach out, because you never know if that person could be gone the next day.
To all the foster kids, I want you to know that you are children of grace. Although light can be scary, don't allow darkness to overtake you. Don't be afraid to live your life courageously, because there are blessings ready to overturn your trauma. You are not a mistake. You are one of the best miracles to ever happen. In the right environment, you can become whomever you are meant to be in this world. I don't proclaim to be Little Miss Know-It-All, but this is something I know for sure.